out there. Don't fret. I don't ever wanna see you and I never wanna meet you again.
A while ago, we literally got the cheapest Skyline we could find. It's an R33, and in the past 2 videos we've posted, we fixed it up and, well, we tried to fix it up, get a bunch of stuff working, and today the Skyline is unofficially gonna hit the road for the first time. It should be good. In today's video, we're gonna take the Skyline for its first drive. It's never been on the road before, but as you'll see in this video, I could say that it's going good, but lying is a sin, so I'm gonna have to be honest. She's got some problems. As you might be able to see here, we're starting to do some other stuff with the paint, which I'll talk about later in the video, but in essence, she's looking all right. She is running. Now, this was gonna be our first drive in the car on the road. Since Josh bought it, he's actually never taken it on the road. He didn't even test it on the road before he bought it. My guess was the transmission was probably done.
Right, so moving day. We're gonna see if this thing actually runs on the road. I don't trust this thing yet. This thing can explode at any moment. Keep. Or first.
Oh, it changes gear.
It changes gear. Second.
Obviously not a...
It's redlining. I don't think it's actually redlining.
No, it's not. We're hitting that 7k RPM.
Oh, mate, behind me is up my arse. Chill out, mate. I'm in a 31-year-old Skyline.
A normal person looks at this and they're like, I don't want to buy this car because it's not going to work. But we look at this and we go,
it's not going to work, so we buy this car. I don't actually think it's telling me the right speed as well. It seems to be stuck at 60 and I think I'm doing 50.
We're going 60 at the moment.
But very slowly, yeah, 30 at the moment.
And we're redlining over 10.
Oh, jeez.
It sounds like it's steam powered right now.
We don't have any fuel in it as well.
We can hear something. I don't know if that's a turbo.
Doesn't sound healthy.
Then the belt's gonna come off again.
I don't even know how fast I'm going. Like,
yeah, we're
70.
60 to get 7,000 off here. So rough.
Yeah.
I'm getting overtaken by the 116. We're getting gapped by everything. This is why you've got to make up for this when the car actually runs. I thought the transmission might not even work because you've never driven this before, right?
I don't think it's been driven in 5 years. Well, Dad said the indicator and brake lights work, so that's a good sign.
Moment of truth. Will it get past the stoplights? That is rough. Yeah, can you turn the transmission problems off by pressing the off button?
You say you don't need me. You call me good for me.
The car did make it, barely, but there was a lot of problems. Epic win of the day.
I'd like to thank everyone involved for not killing me.
We did take it out on the road. We had to move this car to this new garage. I mean, we didn't drive this car on the road. This car's never been on the road because it can't be on the road. Hypothetically, we took it for a drive and now we're here. From towing it, we towed it here on a truck and now it's here. We didn't drive it here. So when we didn't drive the car here, this was like just hanging down like this. She's looking good. So there's good news and there's bad news. The good news is the car technically works. The bad news is it doesn't work as it's supposed to. In the video of us driving it, all of the stuff on the gauge cluster doesn't work properly, so the speedo is permanently stuck at like 60. Like, it does work, it's at 0 at the moment. As soon as you speed up, it hits 60. Look, I'm not complaining, we're always at the speed limit. Tack, same story. The tack's crazy, it actually goes from 0 or below 0 when it's off to 11,000. So if you have a look right now, we're actually at beyond 9. We're at 11. We turned it up to 11. As expected, the transmission is not exactly working properly, to put it kindly. I immediately knew this would be the problem once I found out it was an auto car. It has an original 1990s auto transmission. When we were driving, it was oscillating, saying that we were like, it wasn't that high when we were driving, but it was like just jumping all over the place. It was saying that we were like redlining, hitting 8,000, which we definitely weren't doing. I would be surprised if this could even hit redline in its current state, so that's definitely false. That's false. It's got like a little, I don't know if it's a boost gauge, not working. Fuel works.
Fuel seem to be working.
So you got temperature, that looks like oil pressure, kilograms over centimeters squared. So in essence, good news and bad news, we have to fix this stuff up. Neither of us know what, like I've never had problems with this on any car I've owned, so it's gonna be a first, but for the time being, we're probably gonna ignore it because we don't need to worry about it. We're starting to cut off the rust with, this is like a rust removal, basically paint stripper, and it's really set in thick, but earlier, after Josh moved it here, he actually started working on this. It is a lot smoother already. In the previous videos, this was just all rusted. It is basically all either rusted along the top or on the side. It's got like this, the paint's just like coming off either way. Josh's dad already started sanding some of this down to test it, and it's like all shiny, it looks good, which is a good sign because none of us are sure how bad the rust was like along the top if it was like done. The rust is really like rough and thick, and this just feels like smooth.
Am I like doing it wrong?
Did you pop it in the car?
Nah.
Bruh, didn't pop it in the car. And it's on video as well. She's looking a bit different, a little bit cleaner. I don't know, I feel like there was more clutter last time I saw this.
Maybe it all fell out while we were driving it. Let's remove it down the sink. Okay, time for the real stuff. You know what they say, kids? Safety first. This stuff is gnarly.
In all seriousness, we already know how to do the paint. The paint is actually probably the least of the problems for this car. The main issue seems to be that none of the sensors are working for the gauge cluster, or there's lines which aren't connected properly and electrical problems. So I think the plan moving forward is we're gonna do a bunch of stuff, obviously coilovers. I think we should get the BC Racing coilovers, the BR series ones, which are like the cheapest, like mid-quality coilovers you can get for this car. I think Josh is considering that. We'll have to fix up a bunch of smaller stuff in the engine bay. When we were driving, I think that the transmission does have problems. We're not sure what, because we didn't, obviously the cluster gauge is not working, so we can't tell what the transmission's actually doing. If it's shifting properly, if it's at the right RPM, nothing's really obvious. We do have a diagnostics tool though, which we haven't properly used yet, and we're gonna use that to see like what's going on with it. I think the turbo is working. My main concern is just like the transmission's probably shot, and I don't know, I think we gotta swap it. Would you swap it, Josh?
Manual? Question mark.
Do a manual swap. I don't know what it would take to manual swap this. I was gonna manual swap my M54, which would be way harder, so.
Funnily enough, I don't actually know how to drive manual, so.
Well, you're gonna be learning.
Learning
gotta be
in
learning,
the R33.
I think we should do that. We'll manual swap it. I'm just saying that. The belts sound super weird. I don't know what's going on with them. And I think it needs a compression test because it didn't feel very smooth and it felt like 2 of the cylinders were not even firing. So it'll be good. Oh, cool thing. This is the most important modification so far.
Yep. They are the old ones.
These were in the car.
Pretty shocking.
They're not supposed to do that. These are the new ones.
Off the
Shang Shang. That's not a joke, it's actually called Shang Shang. So look at this.
Yes, man. You can't tell they're from China.
It's like probably the dumbest thing I would get excited for in a car, but this is like epic. When Josh showed me, I'm like, damn, she moving.
It's a bit fun as well.
So yeah, you know, old coilovers, don't need them anymore. We got these ones. So we have 2 options now going forward. Essentially, we can try and fix up the cluster gauge, like do the stuff that we legally need to be able to drive it, or we could get coilovers. So I think we're just gonna get coilovers instead.
You call me good for nothing.